you don't need cable. Hop on YouTube, welcome to the hood table, where we chop up local and global events vocally. You don't really wanna miss out on these conversations. Just joke a little, laugh a little, get that wine in your system, fill your glass a little. Expose current events, talk trash a little. You never know, these opinions might clash a little. They addicted to the content, got them binge watching. You don't like it, then you want invited. Bet your friends watching in the house and your job parking lot before you clocking. They don't wanna miss a second of this HT content. Everybody think they got something to say, so it's an open invitation, bring it to the table. But if you come whack, just know we ain't buying in. We gon' probably turn your back and tell you sorry, try again. Yeah, welcome to the hood table. You don't need Netflix, you don't need cable. Yeah, welcome to the hood table. You don't need Netflix, you don't need cable.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Come on in. Come on in. Please make sure you like and share the video on your way in. We got a lot to talk about, okay? A lot to talk about. So please, again, make sure you like and share the video, and feel free to subscribe to the Hood Table if you happen to be here. And of course, if you want to donate to the platform or to the commentary, feel free to donate to the Cash App or to the hey, Melissa, how you doing? What up, boo? How you doing? But yes, feel free to donate to the Cash App or to the Super Chat. Thank you so very much. How you been, Mel? I hope you're having a great day. I hope you had a great Mother's Day. I hope everybody who I haven't spoken with had a great Mother's Day. Or Mother's Day weekend, for that fact. Because I had a 4-day weekend. I was off Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Okay, so now we're getting it back in, trying to work hard so we can play hard, right? But yes, we are going to be discussing day 3 of the Diddy trial, okay? And as most of you know, who probably has been following it, Cassie still was on the stand today. I don't know how much longer she's going to be on the stand today. On the stand, because at the end of today, hold on, let me pull up my notes. At the end of today, they were talking about the last time that she was directed, it was about hold up here. Let me get my notes. I got my day 2 notes. I got my day 3 notes. So I got to go to my day 3 notes. Excuse me. Okay. Come on in, y'all. Come on in, y'all. All right. What you say now, Mel? Mother's Day was okay. I saw you fire. Girl, yes, I fired up that. Now, you know, it's summertime. If y'all been following me long enough, y'all know all summertime, summertime, all summertime, I'll be on that grill. Normally on Sundays. I normally hit the grill Sundays. I hit it hard. All kind of shit, from chops to ribs to burgers, brats, sausages, all kind of shit, shrimp. Just all kind of stuff. And I usually cook enough to last like 3 days, so we don't have to cook in the house or anything like that. You know, the kids got food to eat, leftovers, even though I'm down to 1 kid left in the house, but still, yeah. But anyway, so Cassie was still on direct, then Cross at the end of the day. And it was talking about Kid Cudi, car arson, and the RAPE. So Cassie ends the direct today discussing the Kid Cudi car arson and the RAPE. So again, I don't know how long this gal is going to be on the stand, okay? Because she got a lot to talk about. They got a lot of footage, video, audio, all kinds of stuff. So that they could try to prove that what Diddy is being charged is in fact what he is guilty of. But we're going to talk about that in a minute. Oh, thank you for the super chat. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you, Boo. Thank you, Boo. Thank you, Mel. I appreciate that. Girl, I might put that in my gas tank when I get that check. Put that in my gas tank. Gas seem to be going up here. But okay, so I just want to go over a few things yesterday that we didn't cover. Um, Basically, they had three people take the stand already. One of them was a security guard. One of them was that male dancer, aka escort, aka prostitute, who calls himself a male dancer. And then, of course, Cassie. And then, of course, Cassie. One thing we didn't discuss yesterday was the male dancer. He was asked, did you think that you were in a relationship with Cassie? Because they were together. I mean, the guy made over $6 million, right? He was paid $2,000 to $5,000 per session. But all in all, he made over $6 million. So that tells you, I mean, she told us they was together for years. Not together, but the freak offs. They had the freak offs together. That's just one person, though. That's just one person that Diddy was having her have sex with, okay? But that, I don't want to call it a relationship. Let's call it a situationship. That lasted, the throuple, whatever you want to call it, for some time, long enough for him to collect over $6 million and buy a house, almost $1 million house. But they asked him, were you, or did you think that you were in a relationship with Cassie? They was trying to basically say that he was, or he thought he was, but he said nope. But had he had the chance, just like the trainer, the physical trainer that Diddy hired for Cassie, had he had the chance, he said he would. And they said, did you ever get jealous of Mr. Combs? And he was like, no, I ain't get jealous. But he is a prostitute, so it's a bigger difference between him and the trainer. The trainer was paid to train. He was paid to have sex, okay? And do strange things to her. Like, we found out that she had to have sex on her menstruation. He had to urinate in her mouth, urinate on her. That's one of the people that, child, okay, we're gonna get into all kind of juicy shit today. But anyway, they had talked to Cassie about, the 10 album deal, which she only did one and a couple of mixtapes. Basically, how I see it was he got her in real young and he broke her. He molded her into what he wanted her to be. And we know that there are older guys out there who are predators. Not necessarily that they prey on little kids, but they still prey on people, whether it's a woman or a male. And he is a predator. He preyed on her. She was 19. She was young. She was gullible, naive. She was looking to make way and become one of the biggest stars in the music world and the recording world. And he promised her a 10 album deal. She only got one album. Out of all the years that they were together, she done made a prostitute over $6 million, got him $1 million home, and she got one album out the deal and a couple of mixtapes. You go figure. But anyway, they asked her, when did you sign the Bad Boy? She said 2006. It was a 10 album deal. They said, did you release anything after 2006? She said no. Now, remember when they asked her also, why did you stop recording? And she laughed. She chuckled. And she was like, is that question for me? In other words, shouldn't you be asking that nigga over there? That nigga over there eyeballing and smoking me and trying to intimidate me while I'm on the stand, not giving him no attention? Shouldn't you be asking that nigga over there? But yeah, so she found that a little humorous yesterday. But other than that, everyone in the courtroom was being really serious because of the content. The topics that they're discussing are not only really like serious, but they really explicit. And some of them are really gross. And what they're trying to prove, as far as defense, they're trying to prove that, yeah, Diddy might be a freak. Yeah, Diddy likes to do a kind of shit that we would probably never do. Ain't no way nobody gonna piss in my mouth. Okay? That's what the whole toilet is for. Hell, you can go piss on the ground, on a tree, anywhere. But you ain't pissing on me or in me. You said damn 6 million. He made over 6 million. Yes, and bought a house that was like 800 something thousand. I mean, he had bank. He had bank. And he was also one of the people who told the on the stand that he didn't stop participating in the free calls because he was fearing his life too because of all the things that he saw Diddy do. Like literally, Diddy would be up there fucking people up day in, day out. That's what Diddy was doing. He had weapons all over his house, weapons all over every house, every property, along with the security guards. So, you know, Cassie was like, he kept weapons on him. He had weapons around him at all times. But the defense is trying to prove that, no, he wasn't trafficking. No, he wasn't coercing people. No, he wasn't committing any RICO. No, he wasn't, you know, doing any of those type of things. He was just a freak. And he was an angry freak. That's what they trying to, you know, say. Now, they could even go a little further and say, yeah, he used to fuck people up when he got angry, but that's not what he's on trial for. He's not on trial for fucking people up. That is not what he's on trial for. But, so yeah, what's up? How you doing under new management? What up, though? You said, honestly, I don't know any Cassie songs. The only song that I ever remember of Cassie is Me and You. I was singing that song earlier today because my youngest son, you know, he was young around that time. And he said, man, the only thing I remember from Cassie is the video at the hotel. You know, he's 24. And I said, you don't remember that song, Me and You? It's just me and you. Some song, just us two. I don't know the rest of the words, but something like that. And he was like, no. It's not registering, Mom. I said, well, look it up. I said, it was an okay, decent song. You know, she could hold a tone. She was cute. She was petite. You know how they used to like them back then. Uh-huh. But yeah, look that song up, Me and You by Cassie. It was, I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't gonna hold you. That song was trending. You know, that's what we call shit now, trending. But that song was like at the top of the charts for weeks, maybe months and months. I mean, I ain't gonna hold you. Every club, every bar, every car, every party, everybody was playing that song. So I ain't gonna hold you. It was a hit. Even though some people think she don't sing that good. But yeah, so look that song up if y'all forgot what that song was about. But yeah, so they did ask her, did you use drugs at every freak off? Because we already know that he would give, like, the ladies, allegedly, he would give them and men drugs of all kinds. I mean, Molly's, Valium, all kind of shit. And she said, yes, we use drugs every single freak off to disassociate and become emotionalist. And they asked her who else used drugs at the freak off. She said, well, Sean did, Diddy did. They call him Sean. I just call him Diddy. Call him Diddy. And she said sometimes the escorts. And they said, what other drugs did you use? She said Special K, GHB. They was even on mushrooms. Mushrooms. Like, who the fuck you? See, that ain't no regular drug shit. And I know my homie up in here that be up in here to chat. I ain't gonna say his name unless he dropped down and say that is I. But I recall when he had said something maybe a year ago about him using mushrooms. And everybody in the B sector was like, what the fuck? But I ain't gonna say his name. But yeah, so that was just some of the pills. And then again, no Molly, the value, different things like that. Ain't no telling what else they was using. They could have been snorting coke. I don't think Cassie would dare say everything that she was using. I don't think so. But then also, as far as her husband, they had said at the beginning of the day that for certain parts of the trial or the court, questioning, answering, directing, whatever cross, that they were going to have her husband lead the courtroom. I don't know if that's because she's going to be discussing, or she has and is discussing really, really explicit shit that she was doing. Whether you believe she was forced or whether you believe she consented. I don't know. What do y'all think? Do y'all think that's why the judge said that? Or is there just something that he doesn't want the husband privy to for another reason? I don't know. I'm not sure. I'll take it as she might be ashamed or embarrassed because she has said that multiple times already. That she was ashamed, she was embarrassed when she would be passed out, when she'd be so high she can't remember what she did, who she did it with. You know, she always talked about being ashamed. So I don't know, maybe that's why the judge did it. But anyway, so yesterday, after finishing with the dancer, the prostitute dancer, the dancer prostitute escort, whatever you want to call his ass, the one who was urinating on Cassie, and there probably was more. We ain't done yet. We ain't done. You know, we only on day 3. But this is the only one we heard about so far. But they put Cassie on the stand. She's still on the stand today, obviously. But again, there's that new procedure. They said, and her husband's name is Alex Stein, for those of y'all who don't know. She has been married to him for a little while now. They on their 3rd child. She is in her 3rd trimester of her pregnancy. Looking beautiful, by the way. But her husband, Alex, they said he will have to leave the courtroom when certain parts of her testimony comes up. Hey, Mr. I'm so red tea. What's up? You say he gonna divorce her after? Man, see, that's what I'm saying. Maybe they taking him out the room because she's ashamed of some of the shit that she was doing. And they got pictures and audio and video. You know what I'm saying? Whew. And the reason why they had the pictures and audio and video is because they have to also prove that Diddy was, one of the things that he that they say he was doing was coercing people. Coercion. I can never say that word right. But basically forcing people against their will. So for them to see or be able to prove, as far as the prosecution, was he really forcing them? They trying to see, they got to look at it. Were these people too high to know what they were doing? Were they saying no? Were they saying stop? Not anymore. Not today, sir. Because those freak-offs would go on for hours and days. And the entire time, they were high. You said you don't think the judge would care about her being embarrassed? So you think it's another reason? Hold on, let me get a drink. Ooh, child, I got some nice cold ice water right here. But I was trying to think, Mel, was it because of the husband? They didn't want her to be ashamed and embarrassed in front of the husband, who is the father of her 3 kids, or something else. I don't know. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Let me know what y'all think. But so Alex, I don't know if he had to leave the courtroom today or not, depending on how far they got into the questions. But I'm assuming that it was times where he had to get up and leave. And then, as we all know, Cassie, she's the star witness for the government in this racketeering and sex trafficking case. Back in 2018, she accused him of the R word after she attempted to break up with him. She filed a lawsuit in 2023, which set it off. Okay, it set it off. After she did her lawsuit, then all the rumors of the criminal investigation started circling around. That also sparked other alleged victims to come forward. I mean, we saw people coming out the woodwork. And the judge, the attorneys, they had to weed through. They had to weed through everybody. They wanted proof. They wanted receipts. They wanted pictures. You were where when this happened? You were at what concert? You was at what event? You was in what city? Do you have a plane ticket? Do you have, they really weeded through all these people because they didn't want no bullshit once they got to the stand. So I honestly think that the people that they did select and weed out, even some of them they said were minors and the others were adults. I really think that they did their due diligence because this is such a high profile case, that I would hope they would have. I really hope they ain't got somebody on there just, trying to get a payday. What up, Sir King? How you doing, Big O? Ah, that's another way to look at it, Sir King, and you might be right. You absolutely might be right. I didn't even think about that. I sure didn't. You said I don't think the judge would care about her being. Oh, I already read that. I'm sorry. I already read that. But yeah, Sir King, that's a good point right there. Truly, that's a good point right there. Yep. But so today she found herself back on the stand. They were asking her about there was a lot of questions about the sexual explicit photos, videos, and audio that's going to be played or displayed for the public. Now, what do y'all think about this? The press, they didn't got their attorney. The assistant U.S. attorney who represents the case, they are or represent the victims. They are saying basically making those videos public or the footage, the audio would re-traumatize the alleged victims shown in them. But on the other hand, Robert Baldwin, an attorney representing the group of media platforms, the media outlets, including major media reporters and partners, they filed a letter to the court yesterday, basically saying it's their right. It's their constitutional First Amendment right. Because they're trying to say, yeah, y'all could say Diddy did this and Diddy did that, but we need to see the footage. We need to hear the audio. The public has the right to see what the judge, what people might be weighing in on when it comes to the jury, when it comes to the judge, as far as if he gets found guilty of sentencing. They're saying it's very relevant. Those exhibits are very relevant. And now they're trying to decide, well, should we have a few other media outlet people be able to, check it out? Because the thing is, they don't want it out there. And we just seen media all the time. They want to get that clout. They want the clicks and views. So they sometimes put out shit out there and you be like, damn, I cannot believe y'all did that. I cannot believe. So I think that's what they're trying to prevent. Is them, showing shit or playing shit or discussing some shit that could really, really, like they said, re-traumatize the alleged victim. So what do y'all think about that? Do y'all think they have a right? Do y'all think it's important that we see video footage? They said, well, maybe we could have the jurors wear headphones. Maybe the rest of the people in the gallery, they don't have to see shit. But maybe the people who are involved on both sides, the prosecuting, the defense, if they hear the shit, the jury see the shit, what do y'all think? I don't think they should let them do it. I really don't. Oh, he said, what did SK say? Let me put it on the screen. He said his presence, and he's talking about Alex, Cassie's husband. Sir King said his presence is preventing her from being truthful. And that might be the case. I mean, I would hope she's being truthful, but the shit that we heard so far, if she lied about that shit, I mean, it's a ratchet shit that she has already been revealing. Like, if she lied, I hate to hear her tell the truth. You said Diddy really did it. Diddy did it. Yes, he did it. I think he did. Yeah. I think he did. But basically, they're saying the audio is very, very important because the government, again, has to prove that Cassie and the other alleged victims were actually coerced into the sexual acts by Diddy, as well as showing that Diddy was fully in control. That's what this video and the audio is, like we were saying before. They have to prove that he was in total control, in charge of these freak offs. And the thing about it is, they are trying to say, Cassie and others are trying to say that he allegedly directed, he tailored those events, he forced people to do shit, he kept them high and drunk and laced and shit. And people didn't have a say-so in the activities. So they got to prove that they were doing things against their own will. And that's what some people don't believe. They don't believe that Cassie or anybody else was being forced. And we hear that a lot of times in the R. Kellys and the Bill Cosby's. What you go over there for at 2:00 in the morning? You knew you was about to get laced and embraced and disgraced and then replaced. Like shit, maybe somebody they just horny and they want to get some deep. They was like, hey, you want me to come over? Okay, I'll come over. But sure, they didn't think they was about to get drunk and laced and have to have sex with 3-4 people and have it recorded and taped and all that kind of shit. Then people got to urinate and piss on you and all that kind of shit. Like, who in what world is that consensual to? I mean, okay. I guess there could be some people that freaky deaky, but and there are, right? There are people who do like those type of things. It's a fetish. R. Kelly liked it. That's why I said I think him and Diddy was really tight. I think they were tighter than tight. Okay. What up, though? What up, Noble? How you doing? Mel said I think the audio is important for the jurors, depending on how it affects the place, but not the general public. The staff is just as guilty. And today we're going to read through some transcripts. We're going to read through some of the testimony that Cassie did. And she was naming different people. She sure was. Because one thing about it is the attorney, when he first started gathering all his alleged victims and weeding through them and listening to their stories, one thing he said was it's going to be a large number of people, names that will shock us, that were involved in that. They call it a trafficking ring. That's what they call it. Okay. So I'm like I said yesterday, I'm looking forward to hearing who all was involved. Because it got to be some big names, right? For the attorney to say some shit like that. But anyway, with the cross-examination today, with Cassie, the prosecution wants her to explain in detail, which she did. She explained in detail the coercion techniques that Diddy used on her and others. One of them, of course, was keeping them high and drugged up most of the time for hours and days. And, the weekly freak-offs, they happen every week. So basically probably 3 to 4 times a week, they had to participate in these freak-offs. They were weekly. Just imagine for years. Now I done had some sex in my time, okay? I can say I probably had enough sex to not have any more at all. Okay? But that much sex, and then all them different partners and shit, having sex with people you don't know, you ain't never met before, just for days on end. That's a lot of sex. Child, now I see why the baby oil, sure, they probably had the baby oil lube. Cassie said he kept baby oil, lubricant. He had all that shit. We already know about the baby oil. But yeah, she said he kept a lot of baby oil because you could not participate in the freak-offs unless you were smothered and lathered in baby oil. You come in dry, you leave slipping and sliding. So that was a requirement. You had to be lathered because everybody's like, why the fuck this nigga need like 99 bottles of baby oil on the wall? Who needs that much baby oil? Regardless of your freakiness, that's a lot of fucking baby oil, y'all. Like, that's the shit that had me gagged. Like, out of all the shit that we done heard, now the urinating in Cassie's mouth, okay, that had me gagged. But the first thing that had me gagged was the baby oil. You said, honestly, I haven't been shocked by anything I've heard so far because power and money. Thank you, power and money. That's what I was telling my son earlier before he went to work. He was like, man, that's crazy the things people do. I said, this is the entertainment world. I'm telling you, Mel, if we could go undercover, I don't know why they don't have undercover people doing that, by the way. If we could go undercover, oh my God, the shit that I would love to be a fly on the wall. In other words, I would love to be a fly on the wall. I don't want to participate in shit. I don't want nobody too close to me or dripping on me, sweating on me, but I would love to be a fly on the wall. Okay. But yeah, she was saying that they would be so drugged to the point where she was getting sick. People would get sick. Not just her, but people would get sick. People be throwing up, passing out. And then when that happens, when people would start passing out or throwing up and get sick, that would anger him even more, because we already know he has an anger problem, anger issues. So that was one of the things that would anger him to the point of beating her when she couldn't have sex. Things like this make me wonder, like with Kels, when he would do all his recording and shit. Things like, now we know there's people who are into voyeurism, right? They like to record themselves, record others. They like to watch porn, in their spare time. But I often wonder, were they selling some of this shit underground? All the videos they were making year after year, day after day, freak off after freak off. And then getting upset to the point where if they were too drunk or too high, they would get their ass beat. It sounds kind of like a pimp, like pimp behavior. Like as if, child, they talking about Diddy was paying prostitutes for having sex with her. That's basically seemed like he was doing to her, just prostituting her out for free, because he was paying. But then again, he could have been making money from the video, and I don't know. I could be reaching. He could have kept them on a private shelf. He could have kept them on a private shelf in a duffel bag somewhere in a dark room. I don't know. Mel, you say he got control issues. Yes, he got control issues, anger issues. He sure do. The way they say he was directing them, like as if he was on a bad boy video recording session. Like he was directing his artists or his rappers. Do this, do that. He was directing them as that, making them do what he wanted them to do. That's why I'm thinking, it seemed like he was being a little professional with it and freaky at the same time. That's why I said some of that shit was probably on the underground. And then they be threatening people like, oh, if you don't do this, you're going to do that. I'm going to show the world. I'm going to send this to your parents. I'm going to send this to your mother. I'm going to put this on the internet. And they probably already got people watching that shit. If you'll have people watching them at the party, why wouldn't you go the extra step and have people pay to see the shit on audio or video? But anyway, she also said he made her have sex while she was menstruating. Ew. I ain't trying to judge nobody, because I know some people do that shit. They'll put down a towel, put down some plastic, something. Do it in the tub, in the shower. But anyway, she said she had to do it on her menstrual. The sex workers had to urinate on her. Yesterday they did also show that video of when he was kicking her ass in the hotel. Matter of fact, hold on, let me pull this up. Let me put this on the screen. Let's see. Okay, let me put this on the screen. Let me blow it up so y'all can see it. Excuse me. Okay. What the judge name is? Submarine, some shit. Okay. Anyway, you know what? Hold up. This is the wrong one. Hold on. Let me find the right one. Is this it? Mr. Combs. Okay, that's the wrong one. Let me put up the right one. We're going to discuss this one in a minute, though. Excuse me. This one is about the Jane Doe. That one was about the Jane Doe. The one I'm about to show you now is about the security guard. Okay, sorry about that. I just got a lot of shit here. Okay. I think this is the right one. Okay, this is the right one. Okay. So this is basically what the security guard has said. Because one of the things that they said that he was doing also was bribing people. And if we pull up his, let's see, indictment. Okay, here we go. If I pull up I can't have both of them up on the screen at the same time, so I'm gonna just read from one and show you the other. That's how we're gonna do that. Okay. Okay, so again, one of the counts is racketeering conspiracy, but also on there is among other crimes, sex trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstruction of justice. Okay, so that's what we're going to be looking at right here. The bribery. I hope y'all can see this. Let me see if I can get it bigger. Is that good? Let me move this sign. Okay. I think that's pretty good. So y'all can see that, right? Okay. So what it says, this is from the security guard. This was back in 2016. He said today, March 5th, 2016, at approximately 11:14 a.m. Or is that 1:14? I think that's 11:14. Okay, it says, I received a call from Instant Services, Wanda, stating that she had just gotten a distress call from the 6th floor. I then looked at the cameras to familiar with the situation up on the floor. All I saw before I took off immediately was a black male wearing only a towel. We remember Diddy had only a towel on. I think he had socks on too. Wearing a towel, walking back and forth, which is in the video we saw. He said he arrived on the scene at 11:15 a.m. and he noticed that the black male rapper was Sean Combs P. Diddy, a.k.a. Mr. Love. He observed Mr. Combs sitting down on the far left chair of the 6th floor, and the female who was closer to the hallway, later identified as Cassie. He said, I saw the damage that had been done and I began to diffuse the situation by advising Mr. Combs to understand his status. Understand your status. Like, nigga, do you know who you are? You up here kicking this girl's ass in the hallway at the hotel and you on camera, fool. He was like, understand his status and the safety and concerns of our guests. He began yelling at Cassie and he advised both of them to separate from each other and that it wasn't convenient for both of them to continue this, especially in the hallway and in a towel. He then proceeded to advise Diddy to return back to his room. Diddy began to offer him a bribe. You take care of this. I got you. Let's go to my room. The security guard then responded with, sir, I know who you are, while extending his arm to shake his hand, and said, all I ask is for respect for my guests and myself. So do me the favor and let's return you to your room. He said Diddy got up and began to walk to his room as we made our way down to the hall. Cassie was behind us, coming from the south hallway. Mr. Combs noticed her while turning back and began to raise his voice. I then told him that if he didn't respect the guests, then he would be escorted off the property. We walked over to his room 602, and when he went inside, and when Miss Cassie was told to leave by Mr. Combs, so she did just that. Diddy opened the door and brought out a currency band wrapped around $100 bills and told me again, thank you, and said, you take care of this and I'll take care of you. I declined the money and told Mr. Combs that all we needed was for him to stay in his room until checkout, which is today. I left the scene at 11:25 a.m. I then took the elevator down and saw Cassie and advised her that I did not want him to see her. So I walked her over to the valet office until her ride got there. I asked her that we would need more information for her to stand by. And then walked her over to MOD 80's office. I don't know what that is. And advised him of the situation that I needed him present. Maybe that's somebody above him. I don't know. But he said we then walked over to Cassie and she was unable to locate. They couldn't locate her. They then went up to the 6th floor, took pictures of the guest lobby elevator landing, and made their way to guest room 602, which is Diddy's room, of course. The mod 80 wanted to introduce himself and let him know the hotel rules and to advise him that the damages would be charged. Because remember, he was throwing lamps at her and shit. When Diddy advised him that when Diddy advised him that we were not there to make it bigger than it already was, he saw Mod 80 holding his phone and he automatically assumed he was being recorded. So he grabbed his hand. And told him to back off. So Diddy grabbed the dude's hand and told him to back off. He then told no one was recording him. He was then told that no one was recording him, that was for safety and the privacy of the guests is important to the hotel. And if he tried to do something like that, he would get kicked out and escorted out of the property. Now, mind you, they were in the middle of a freak off session. That's why they were there in the hotel in the first place. They were having a freak off session and Cassie tried to leave. She tried to get away. That was one of the few times she had tried to get away. He calmed down and apologized and stated, "It's just that I don't want to lose anything and I can lose it all." We then reassured him that all we need him to do was calm down and not have any more scenes from that time until his checkout time. We then left the scene and resumed normal operations. Note, we will be conducting extra patrols until this checkout in which we will be taking pictures of how the room is left at this moment. Here are the pictures at the okay. So this is one exhibit, and I guess they must have showed exhibits of the room as well. Child, what up, Silky? Hey, Sincere. How you doing? Woo. It's a lot going on in my Tracy's PC's voice. But yeah, so that was what the security guard had to say. That was his testimony, his point of view of the horrific scene that we saw on video last year. That shit was from 2016. That shit was old as fuck. Okay. And had that never came out, it probably would have been much harder to prove that Diddy was that violent. But yeah, so they showed the video yesterday to the juries, of him beating her in the hotel. And then y'all remember he had to come out publicly and apologize, even though we know most definitely he was not sincere. And so now, while the prosecution is trying to prove that Diddy was extremely violent, aggressive, manipulative, etc., the defense's job again is to also prove that Cassie was also abusive. Remember, they're trying to prove that she was not coerced and that she was consensual into every facet of their really sexualized relationship. They're really freaky, sexualized relationship. Kinky. They're saying that they were mutually abusive. Now, Cassie, she did say on the stand today, there was a time that she said she did slap him or hit him because he did something to her, disrespected her. But I don't think nowhere, as little as that girl is, I don't think she was nowhere as equally abusive to him as he was to her. But they're trying to say that their whole relationship was mutually abusive. And that's when they say again, Diddy, yes, he was in some very kinky sex. Yes, Diddy was an asshole. Yes, Diddy was a sexual deviant, but he hasn't committed any crimes. Because they're trying to tell us that Cassie did everything consensual because she didn't leave. And they said that's what separates sexual activity between consensual adults and sex trafficking. How could it be sex trafficking if she stayed? she could have left. So that's what all this footage and the video and the audio and the pictures is supposed to help prove, that she was not consenting and other people were not consenting. They already proved that he can be very physical and violent, but she remained with Diddy for many years. Even after he scrapped her 10-album deal, she said that he was doing the R word to her and allowing other people to do the R word to her. She filed charges last year in 2023. I mean, not last year, but I'm still thinking it's 24. But she filed charges in 2023 that he did the R word to her when she tried to get away. But then again, people are saying that she was so in love with Diddy that she performed every sex act that he asked her to participate in, even while being urinated on. Or was it that she was really in fear of her life? Which one do y'all think it was? Do y'all think it was consensual? Do y'all think it wasn't? Do y'all think she was really in fear of her life? Even though we saw how violent this man could be. This was when he didn't even know he was being recorded. I just picture him just tearing her ass up on a regular basis. That's what I picture him doing to her. So do y'all think she was really being trafficked under duress? Under the elements of all those drugs and all those beatings? Y'all let me know how y'all feel about that. What up, OG Jamel? How you doing? You said she liked that lifestyle. Now she does not. Yes. She done totally did a what? 180? I'm about to say 360, but you're supposed to say 180, right? She done did like a total 180. Like that girl, like if you didn't know about what she had been through, you wouldn't even believe it. Because right now she appears to be happily married. They're on their third baby. It seems like they're, in love. Compared to what she had, that's like, wow. That is crazy. The different type of lifestyle that she's living compared to what she had. I mean, they was in a crazy whirlwind cycle of abuse and child. And now what's really great to see, Cassie, I think that is a good thing. It's great to see that she's in a, what appears to be, because we ain't in nobody's bedrooms and we ain't in their crib, right? And we know we done seen the type of shit that comes to light when we think people might be living the good life or, got it going on. But and a lot of people probably did think Cassie got it going on. You with Diddy? She with Diddy, the big music mogul, the bigger than life, larger than life. I mean, very, very rich millionaire. I mean, it had to been a lot of people out there was thinking that she had it going on. But it is nice to see her, doing something better with her life. Again, it looks like she's happily married, even though it's the guy that Diddy paid to train her. I know that had to hurt. That had to hurt his ass when he found out that she was dating the motherfucker that he paid to train her. And then they got married and now they're expecting their third child. Like, how the hell? I mean, oh God. Has she wrote a book? Y'all let me know. Has she ever written a book? After this trial is over, she should definitely write a book. Because what a lot of people don't understand is if you live that life, I mean, being forced to have sex with prostitutes, being urinated on, I mean, we're going to talk about the other shit that she went through, that she revealed in court today. But how was you able to heal from all that trauma and find yourself in a loving relationship? I mean, I would hope that she's not over there being pimped and sleeping with prostitutes. It's like her relationship is apples and oranges now. You know what I'm saying? And this also, they said, is going to play a big part in the jury, swaying the jury, because it's like, who in a consensual relationship would do all that shit, be willing to do all the shit that she went through? That same person compared to this lady right here, who is married, happily married with 3 kids. And it's like a totally different lifestyle. Can you really call it a consensual relationship? If you were being urinated on, can you imagine the stuff that they were doing that we're hearing about? Could you imagine being consensual in that shit? Forced to fuck prostitutes? Being slathered and smothered in baby oil? And being directed to act out pornographic scenes like you on Pornhub, bitch? I mean, come on now. In a normal society, does this behavior fall inside the boundaries of consent? Nope. And that's what the prosecution has to persuade the jury. That basically that in a normal society, does this behavior fall into the boundaries of consent? Again, y'all let me know how y'all feel about any of that shit. You said I was behind and alive. How long has she been away from Diddy? Oh God, since 2000. Let's see, she got beat in 2016. She got, what year is this? 25. Oh God, when did she leave Diddy? Hold on, I don't want to tell y'all the wrong answer. Hold on, unless somebody want to put it in the chat. Okay, they said they broke up for good in 2018. So this was 2 years after the video. Okay, so we didn't see the video till last year. But after the actual beating in 2016, they say she left. They broke up for good in 2018. They met in 2005 when she was 19. They confirmed their relationship in 2012. One thing she did say on the stand was that a lot of people didn't know that they were even together. Only the people closest to Diddy even knew that they were messing around. She said, we didn't even go public with our relationship for a while after they had met. They met in 2005. They confirmed their relationship in 2012. That's a long time to not confirm who you fucking with. You know what I'm saying? Especially if that's somebody you really, really care about. That's a long ass time. Shit. You said 2008 she wrote a book. Child, well, I need her to write another book. Because she broke up with him in 2018. So it's time for her. She need to write another book. After this trial, she definitely needs to write another book. Yeah, she probably went through a lot of therapy. Yep, I'm sure she did probably go through a lot of therapy. I'm sure. Shit, speaking of therapy, that motherfucker need therapy. While he was up there lying on, I know for sure he was lying about when he came out and after the tape came out and he came out apologizing. Oh, I'm going through therapy. Oh, I'm getting help. Oh, I'm not like that anymore. Oh, I'm like, child, please. Child, please. Didn't nobody believe none of that bullshit. Okay? Didn't nobody believe none of that bullshit. At least I know I did. Okay, what up? You said 2018, she probably has been through a lot of therapy. Yep. And then you also said 2008, Cassie wrote a book, or Kim. I don't know. Oh, she did mention Kim. Matter of fact, she did mention Kim on the stand. What did she say about Kim? She said something about when Kim passed away. I think they said, when was the last time you talked to Diddy besides, outside of what y'all had going on? She said she did reach out to him to, just like other people was trying to console him and the family or whatever, after Kim passed away. Oh yeah. I know. I was just reading it. But yeah, that's crazy, dude. To go through all that shit, consensual or not, I'm just not that big of a freak. I just my freak level, my freak odometer or freak meter or whatever, got to be a -11 compared to the shit that they was doing. Woo-wee. I thought I liked to get. I thought I liked some shit. You want? But anyway. So Diddy Trial, day 4. I'm just going to read some of the transcript from today, if you don't mind. Okay. Now, they did say that they expect or they anticipate the witnesses being on cross-examination for multiple days because they did need to speak to them about security and transportation. They also said, hold on. Okay, so they're still trying to be convinced of and persuade a jury of his abuse, and everything's not being consensual. Ventura, they list her as Ventura on the transcripts. Cassie, they said one time she said she was dating someone else, and he threatened to release those freak off videos, and she would have to answer to her mother. She said they were horrible and disgusting, and nobody should do that to anyone. And they said, what did Diddy say the impact would be? Cassie said, shame. Basically, she's alluding that he was blackmailing her, which she had said before. You know, when she would try to leave, he would blackmail her and threaten to put those tapes out, threaten to put some of those videos out. But the guy that we heard from yesterday, the Philip dude, he wasn't the only escort that she was. I'm gonna just say what she said. She claims she was forced, so I'm gonna say what she say until she's proven otherwise. Okay? She claims that she was forced to have sex with strippers. I mean, not strippers, dancers, the dancers, prostitutes, whatever, escorts. So, but she named like 3 altogether so far. 3 different ones that she had to have sex with. They was asking her a lot of questions about the freak offs, and they were asking her about different locations of the freak offs. She mentioned, of course, Cali. She mentioned, of course, New York. They had went to dinner one time in New York, and then Diddy wanted to have a freak off, and they asked her, "Well, why did you do it?" And she said, "To make him not threaten me." And so that's when they started talking about what type of threats would he threaten you with. And she said it was the freak off videos. Now, one thing that I knew would probably come up, just like with the Diddy situation, was people going to come out and say they had like STDs or something going on like that with their body. So she did talk about that today too. And in the title of my show, I had labeled the title of my show that Cassie talked about UTIs and also about having sores in her mouth. And so they were asking her about that, and they said, were the UTIs painful? Like, some people ask the weirdest questions, but I guess it's court. They need to make sure everybody has a clear visual, right? So they asked her, was the UTIs painful? And she said, yes, very painful. As a matter of fact, she said they were so painful and they were so bad. I don't know if y'all ladies ever had a UTI, but yeah, they can be very bad if you get a UTI. But she said they were so bad that the antibacterial medicine didn't work anymore. I was like, say what? Say who? She said the antibacterial medicine didn't work anymore. So she just walking around with UTIs and fucking all these people, including prostitutes. And they said, well, how did you feel during the freak offs, girl? She said, burning. She said, burning. And she said she had sores in her mouth. And she said she got another UTI. Girl, she said, they said sores. And she said, yeah, it was sores in my mouth. It was a lot of friction in my mouth. And they said, well, what was that from? She said, oral sex. These was all in the messages that they were reading, that she was testifying to on the stand. So Diddy knew that she had basically, I don't want to call it incurable UTIs, but she said the antibacterial medicine was not working. And I'm sure it's not working because when you have a UTI, when you have anything going on down there, you're not supposed to have sex. You're supposed to keep that area clean and hidden from everybody else. Like, I don't care if you got a man, husband, partner, whatever. You're not supposed to have sex because that's going to irritate the UTI. And she talking about burning? Oh God. Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm. But yeah, that just reminds me of the herpes situation with Kels. Because everybody said he had herpes and he knew he had herpes. And we even heard from the doctor in the Kels situation. The doctor had took the stand and testified, oh yeah, that nigga knew he had herpes for like 10, 15 years. Kels knew he had the herpes for years. And was having sex with all those people. And when they came to him and said they had the herpes too, he looked at them like, shit, bitch, you ain't got it from me. But yeah, you can't have sex with that many people and then they never see it. Because herpes can be on your eyes, on your lips, in your mouth, downstairs. Child, I don't know if it stinks or not, OG Jamal. I don't know. Somebody in the chat ever experienced it, or if they know, if they're a nurse or something. I don't know. I don't know if it stinks or not. But shit, I mean, I can imagine that it was probably pretty rancid down there, right? Like if the medicine ain't working, I can imagine that it was probably pretty rancid. But then they started talking to her about his behavior, how he can be angry, brutal, lose control. And she had testified about, Diddy going armed looking for Suge Knight at one point in time. Of course, this was way back in the gap because Suge been in prison for a minute. She said Diddy keeps a lot of guns on him. That was part of the coercion technique that the prosecution is trying to claim or, come across to the jury, is that he always had guns on him and he always had security on him. He went looking for Suge Knight. Now that's new to me. She telling a lot of shit on here, okay? A lot of shit on the stand is coming out. That's why I know somebody said that they probably removed her husband from the courtroom to keep her a little bit more honest, maybe, and that she wouldn't, or they said she might not be so honest if her husband was in the courtroom. But shit, from the start of being on the stand, she been revealing a lot of stuff. I don't know. I mean, I can't swear on it, but a lot of shit sounds believable. I just think that a lot of shit sounds believable. Then she talked about one time where he had beat her and had kicked her in her back. She had a bruise. They asked her, where did you go? And she said to her hotel with a burner phone. She said the room was tore up. Somebody had peed all over the floor, pooped in the toilet, didn't flush. She said this was around the time before Christmas. I don't know if that somebody was P. Diddy or not. That is gross. Like somebody pissed on your hotel floor. That had to be P. Diddy. That had, unless he has, I don't know. He was paying people to piss in her mouth and piss on her. So I guess he could have paid somebody to do that shit in her hotel. That's gross. Because if you pissing on the carpet in the hotel, I wonder how much money he had to come off to all these hotels. Like he tried to bribe the one hotel where he was on camera beating her butt. He tried to bribe them for some of the shit that he had destroyed in the hotel. I wonder how much money he had to. If you piss on, and they ain't at no shabby hotels, okay? They had nice hotels with nice carpet, nice comforters, nice beds, nice curtains. They bougie and shit. So I wonder how much money he had to. But anyway, they were showing photographs. They were showing photographs of her bruises from multiple incidences to show the jury, that she was being abused. But we really already know that, especially from the footage that we saw at the hotel. But they had text messages, like lengthy text message chains of her and him discussing shit together about her abusing or her getting abused, about her participating in the freak offs, different locations. But there was another man, Islander. There's another man that she called Pop Pop. Like I said, there was more than just that one dancer, that one escort that she alleges that he was forcing her to have sex with. And at one point in time, he had told her, "I'm going to show you escorts." At one time, I'm sorry, at one point in time, in the court on the stand, they said, "I'm going to show you some escorts," and she asked him. They asked her, "Did she know the name of the person?" And she was like, "No." And she said, "In what cities did you use him?" And she said, "New York." And they said, "And who is this?" And she said, "Islander. He's a Latin man. We use him in LA and maybe in Vegas." And they asked her for another one. "Who is this?" And she called him 2A-16. She said, "We call him Tommy." And they said, "Well, who is this?" She said, "I know him as Greg, an escort in Miami." They said, "Who is this?" She said, "That's Jonathan. We saw him in Miami." They said, "Who is this?" Some dude in a red baseball cap, backwards baseball cap. She said, "I don't know, but he looks familiar from the freak offs." So there was multiple men that he was having her have sex with, and he would literally be directing them on what to do, making them do all kind of gross and explicit shit with her, while he would be filming and recording and jacking off. He would be jacking off, getting off to the shit, and directing them what to do. And of course, one of the things that they always have to do is be lathered and slathered in baby oil. Child. You said that's why my germophobes kick in when in hotels. Yeah, girl. That's why some people say when you go to a hotel, you should bring your own sheets. You should bring your own linens, your own towels, your own. I mean, even the towels, like the towels, they might look nice and stark and white hanging up on the in the bathroom. But shit, I don't trust that shit. I'm telling you, every time I travel, I bring like a whole stack of face towels, small bath towels, big bath towels. I don't play about that shit. And then when we go to hotels, I make sure our shit never touch the ground. We keep our shit on the dressers or on the tables. I really don't like being in hotels. I mean, I will absolutely do it if I had to travel, but I really don't like it. Some people just love a nice hotel. I don't care how fancy or how expensive that shit is. You don't never know what the fuck somebody been doing in that motherfucking bed. Or in this case, on the floor, because Cassie said somebody urinated all over the bathroom, all over the floor in the hotel. So, But yeah, she had said that they were having freak offs all over the place in Hampton. They would get hotels, and see that's why, if y'all remember, the attorney who's representing a lot of these people in this case against Diddy, he said that a lot of entities would be involved as well, and he did mention hotels. He very much did mention hotels. He also said like pharmacies, the ones who were giving out medication or drugs. Yeah, so not only were they saying there's going to be a lot of big names that's going to shock us, but it's also going to be a lot of entities. And a lot of these freak offs were at hotels. A lot of this, what they call unconsensual, non-consensual participation, was at hotels. And they claimed that a lot of these hotels was being paid off to look, to turn an eye at what was going on in these hotels. So again, child, I don't know how long this court trial is going to be. But at one point in time, she was describing another scene where he was beating her. She said she was on the floor of a car. Excuse me. It was in 2009. They said in January 2009, did you attend an event in LA with Diddy? She said yes. They said, what happened after you left? She said, I've been speaking to a producer about music. Mind you, Diddy promised her 10 albums and only gave her one, helped her produce one. And because she was talking to another producer, he called her a slut. And this is when the defense is trying to say that it was mutual abuse. between the two people. Remember when I said earlier that she had slapped him or something because he had disrespected her? But I also said, I don't think no way possible she has put more abuse on him than he has on her. The girl weighs about, what, 100 pounds soaking wet? Even pregnant, she probably weighs only 125. But anyway, he called her a slut. She said she had been drinking and, she hit him. She said, I hit him in the face. And then after that, he had her ass on the floor and stomped her all on her face. And they said, how long did it last? She was like about a good 10 minutes. Then she said she tried to get away, but Sean's security brought her back. Now, we had heard on the stand when they had asked her about him being in control. One of the things that they had said was that when he was even away from the house, God, I swear this is just like Kels. Some of this shit is very familiar with Kels, because when Kels was gone, he would make sure the security, the cooks, whatever, the housekeeper always had track of the person that he had in the rooms in his home. And the same thing with Diddy and Cassie. When he wasn't there, he always made sure the security guards, they tracked her. They tracked her. If she didn't answer the phone when he called, they would track her down. You need to come get this phone. And so in this situation, again, they said there's a lot of enablers that's going to end up in court. I think this is going to be a little bit different than Kels, for real, because a lot of people always wonder and still wonder why Kels was really the only one prosecuted in his situation. But in this situation, I think they're going to send a message through to the enablers, the people who sat back or maybe participated in some of the abuse. But when she tried to get away, she said his security guard brought her back. And they said, who brought you back? Which security guard? And she said, Roger Bonds. And they said, what they tell you? And they told her, get a hotel. You ain't leaving. Get a hotel room. Mm-hmm. And then she said it made D-Rock sad at what was going on, because, D-Rock was one of his peeps. And they said he asked her where she was at. It's time to ice your face. So I think some people who, from what that sounds or what that shows me, is that some people might have seen everything that she's going through, but still felt pity on her. And I can get that part, but how can you feel pity on a person that's being beaten constantly like that, and you're not doing it? You stay, you work. Somebody said in the chat it's a money thing. It's a money thing all the way around. A lot of these people who work and are employed by these abusive people, they get paid really handsomely, right? To turn a blind eye. But she said, he offered her, some ice for her face, said it was time to ice your face because she had just been beaten up by Diddy. There was another time where she said they were in Turks and Caicos when she was dragged. And he even got violent with somebody else. He got violent with somebody else, and it was an assistant. He got violent with an assistant. Cassie claims that one of his assistants, because they said, who else have you? I want to read exactly what they were questioning her, okay? They said, were these all the times he beat you? And she said, no, there were more. And they said, well, who else did he beat? Who else was he violent with? And she said, I saw him one time drag an assistant out the bed. And she said, I saw him punch Eli. His assistant, Eli. I'm assuming Eli is a man. But she said, I once seen him punch Eli in the head. And she said, that was in Turks and Caicos. And that's who he dragged. He dragged Eli out of the bed and punched him in his head. Child. But she described other places too, like London, different places where they have to have freak offs, different places where she was beat. One time, she said when they were in Turk and Caicos, when they had a freak off in Turk and Caicos, they said, she said Sean came in and held her. It was a friend of hers. She was describing some people that he was, again, she's describing other people that he was being abusive to, violent with. And they said, did a friend stay with you? And she said, yes. And that Diddy came in and held her friend and threw her on the patio furniture out on the balcony. And then she said, I saw him bring her back in from the balcony, then throw her on the patio furniture. So he was just tossing her around. And then they said, and Carrie Morgan, and she said, yeah, I saw him hit her in the head. And that's when they started asking her about the specific drugs. Did you get drugs on your own? And she said occasional drug dealers would give them the drugs like opiates, Xanax, Valium. We know they had other street drugs that they would use like the Mollies. And she said he would put pills in a vitamin C bottle on the sink. And he would say, you can take them. And he would also have doctors. See, this is where, remember when they said they're going to, pharmacies are going to be in trouble too? She said he would also have doctors write scripts in the name of assistant or in her name. Now, at one point in time, let me read this part of the transcripts. At one point in time, they said, when would you take the Valium before a free call? And she said, when I was, when she was anxious, when she had anxiety, his driver was bringing them to her. His driver was bringing her Valium. And she said she think that was Raheem. I like the fact that she's naming all these people who played a part, because they call this a trafficking ring, right? And they said it was a lot of enablers, a lot of participants. So she's like naming all these people. She named, who else? She named somebody named Paul. She named somebody named Jake, some white dude. It was a lot of people, and that was at a hotel in Hollywood. But yeah, he had everybody from pharmacies and doctors, drug dealers, keeping them high and drugged up. The people who was participating in these free calls. That is crazy. That is crazy. At one time they said August 2018. What happened? Let's go back to 2018, because that's the year that they finally broke up, right? And this is also the time where when she pressed charges against him, she said that when she tried to get away from him, he did the R word to her. So, in August, they said in August 2018, what happened? We were having a closure conversation. They were having a closure conversation at a restaurant in Malibu. And he was trying to convince her to go to Burning Man. I don't know what Burning Man is. Is that like an event or something? I don't know. And they asked her, was she seeing anyone? And she said yes. But they said, what happened next? And they said Sean, or they keep calling him Sean, Diddy came to her house. Now, this was after they were having a closure conversation at the restaurant, meaning she's trying to break up from him. She said he came to her house and did the R word to her on her living room floor. And she said his eyes were black. It was like we people now voice their opinions more. Like even yesterday when I was live, people said he just looks crazy. He looks scary. He looks like he's on something. He looks like the devil. He looks like this. His eyes are so dark. He's creepy. She said his eyes were so dark when he was doing it to her. And then when he was doing it to her, they asked her, was she crying? Was she telling him to stop? She was like, yes. She said he continued, and then he finished inside of her. Then he got up and left. The next one. They said, did you ever have sex with him again? She said yes, voluntarily. We had a good night. I went back to his house. And they said, can you explain why you did that after he raped you? And she said, we've been together 10 years. What do you call that, Melissa? What is that where people can't get away from their abuser because they in love with them? And what is that? Like, he literally did the R word to her. And then, like, later, she gave it up voluntarily. like I can't remember the word that people use for that, but you said when you have to go to the bathroom, you have to go. The setup is real. That's the West Coast shit. Hey yo. When you have to go to the bathroom, you have to go. Child, what you talking about? What you talking about? Munchausen. That's it. Thank you. Thank you. Munchausen syndrome. Thank you. Thank you. I feel like she was trapped. She was there from the age of 19. You know, 19 is a very, very young age. And you know what a lot of people say when they get like married real early or they get in a serious relationship real early in life? And then what they say, man, I done wasted all my good years. I done wasted all my good years on this motherfucker. They done took all my youth. Hey, what up, M-Mac? How you doing? Stockholm, is that it? Stockholm syndrome. Okay, that's okay, Melissa. We get them confused because I think Munchausen syndrome. That's when people try to make people sick or make people believe that they're really trying to help them. I think that's what Munchausen is. There was a movie that I had watched a little while ago on Hulu, and the mother, she was always making her daughter sick. And then she would rush her to the hospital, and she was trying to keep her daughter from moving out. And she had told the daughter her legs didn't work and all this, kept her in a wheelchair. And then come to find out the girl, when she got older, she found out she could walk, but she was just on so much medication all the time, her legs wouldn't work. Like, that bitch was crazy. The shit she was doing to her daughter. So yeah, that was me and you. We both had it mixed up. But that's it. Yep. Stockholm. What up, Lady Hebrew? How you doing? What's up? And yeah, so I think that's what she had. I really do. Like, ain't nobody just gonna R me. And then we had sex again another time later. After I done try to break up and leave your ass, and then you child. They said, why did you stay in touch? And she said, she tried to pull away. But she just couldn't, you know. And then he had sent her images. She said he had an iPad full of images, images and videos. And again, that's the blackmail, that's the coercion, that the prosecution is talking about. Always trying to scare tactic for her not to leave. And then they asked her also how many free calls did you and him have? And she said it's impossible to know. It was hundreds. She said they were weekly and they would last for days. So all them years that they were together. But remember when I was talking about, like, it's so crazy all the shit that she was doing with him. Then the relationship that she's in now is like a total 360. They asked her, after you broke up with Sean, did you ever do any more freak offs like with anybody else? And then she said no. And they was like, no further questions. There's like no further questions, child. And then after that, the judge was like, he sent them out on a break. The judge sent them out on a break. They said they agreed. They said they believe we had agreed that other sexual acts by the witness was not admissible. But we understand they intend to cross-examine her about other relationships. So that was why they asked her, have you ever participated in any other free calls after you broke up with him? Mm-hmm. But anyway, the judge had let them all go to break. Then when they came back in, he was like, oh, I'm sorry to bring y'all back in, only to send y'all home. Don't y'all read nothing else about the case. Have a good day. All rise. Okay. But yeah, today was a really good day. We heard a lot of stuff that she had been going through in that relationship. But again, I think they're gonna start up tomorrow with the arson, because they're still talking about him being violent with not just her but with other people. And they had also mentioned that she had also mentioned today how he had a lot of guns and he had went looking for Suge Knight. And then before trial ended today, they ended with the direct with talking about Kid Cudi, you know, the arson, because the arson is part of the indictment, right? So they ended the direct talking about Kid Cudi, the car arson, and the rape. So I predict they're going to start off along those lines tomorrow. Mm-hmm. You said as she left and nothing happened. So scary. I don't believe it. What up, Door Dada do? Yeah, some people don't believe. Some people don't believe. Yeah. And that's the thing you have to make up in your own mind. Just like with the R. Kelly situation. A lot of people believe, the parents were responsible, the kids were responsible, the teacher, the mailman, everybody, the dog sitter, everybody was responsible, the hairdresser. Nobody was responsible for Kel, what he did, but everybody else. So, it's up to you to believe what you want to believe. We shall see what's going to happen. We shall see what's going to pop, right? But this is what I also wanted to show y'all. So let me pull this up real quick before we go. Now, we do know that there was a Jane Doe, right? Victim number 4. Hold on, let me pull this up for you guys so you can see it. Let me close some of my windows because I got a lot of stuff open. Okay, so let me pull this up for you first. See, I'm showing you all kind of shit, right? What up, 400? What up, 400? I'm showing y'all all kind of documents and shit. Okay, here we go. I try to be real thorough, especially when I'm covering court cases. A lot of y'all that follow me covering other court cases, from the beef sector to trending news, celebrities, local. But anyway, this is what I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to make it real big for you. Okay, so we know there was a Jane Doe, victim number 4. We know there was a Jane Doe who been going by a pseudonym, basically Jane Doe, that is the pseudonym. And the case is Jane Doe versus Combs. Basically, the judge is telling her, you can no longer use a pseudonym. You can no longer go by Jane Doe. Now, in this court records, it says here, thank you, 400. It says the government respectfully writes. Now, this is on April 22nd. The government respectfully writes in response to the court's April 22nd, 2025 order seeking additional information regarding the risk of harm to victim number 4, where she is to testify under her own name. Those harms which are detailed in a declaration from her counsel attached here as Exhibit A. What's that, Ferrara? What the hell is that? Ferrara declared are numerous and more sufficient to warrant a pseudonym. Victim 4 wishes to testify under pseudonym. The risk of harm to victim number 4, otherwise including psychological, emotional, and professional harms of publicly talking about whatever. I think, I don't know what they got covered there. But more to justify the use of pseudonyms. I guess they're going to be talking about abuse, sexual content, things like that. And I think not only do this person want to remain anonymous, but we can't see this person, right? We can't see them. We can't watch it live. Only the people in the courtroom know who victim number 4 is. And even if they don't know her name, all they know is what victim 4 looked like. So you can be sitting right there in court and still not know this bitch, right? Excuse me, I didn't mean to say that. Still not know this woman. But they want to put a name to her. But she wants to keep her name under wraps because a lot of the shit that they were doing was shameful, embarrassing, humiliating. And they claimed that it wasn't consensual. But even if it was consensual, like a lot of times Cassie did want to have sex. We're going to talk about that too before we wrap up. But there's a lot of times where she was in love with him. They was together for all those years. So there were times where she was consensual with him. But she wanted to have sex with him. She didn't want to have sex with all those other people. But anyway, they said allowing the use of, that long ass code right there, United States versus Paris 0669999. Okay. Allowance of pseudonym where victims face likely adverse personal, professional, because this will probably fuck with a person's job, their church, their family, their community. But anyway, adverse personal, professional, psychological consequences of publicly linking their identities to the past experiences. Victim number 4 also fears harassment. It is quite reasonable to think that the harassment will increase exponentially if she testified under her true name, especially with the press coverage this case has garnered, obviously. In the light of explicit nature of the conduct that the witness will be testifying about, the court has determined that the witness's fear of harassment and reprisals by the media and others is legitimate. The court should therefore allow victim number 4 to testify under a pseudonym. The defendant cites no case in the defendant cites no cases in the circuit denying pseudonyms for victim witnesses. Collecting cases in which pseudonyms were permitted does not, as the defendant suggests, serve as a waiver of her application for a pseudonym or her rights as a victim to be protected and treated with fairness and respect under the Crime Victims' Rights. Victim number 4 has never spoken publicly about the sensitive topics that she will cover in her testimony. So again, she don't want nobody to know. All right. That's mainly what that was about. Okay. So let me close that. And then basically this is what happened today. The judge said Jane Doe using a pseudonym is not allowed. And she got by May 20th to either provide her real name for the courts or have her case dismissed, thrown out on those grounds. That part. So she can no longer be a Jane Doe. She can no longer be a Jane Doe. Child. Mel said, I don't think anything is black and white, but unfortunately, unless it's recorded, only the people involved know the entire uncut. Thank you. And that is also why the press, the attorney representing certain media outlets and the press, they are basically telling the judge that if nobody else hears or sees the video and audio footage, like the public, the people in the gallery, of course we know the jury, they're gonna have access to it. Of course, the prosecuting team, the defense team, the witnesses, those taking the stands, they're gonna have access to it. But they're saying if nobody else has access to it, the press has to have access to it, because they're trying to say, like, how can y'all prove that none of this shit was consensual? Like, it's the public's right. It's our First Amendment. That's what they're trying to, come across to the judge. That's what they're trying to come across. Mm-hmm. You said I'm telling on Diddy, rest in peace, Pop. You want me to drop the link? Okay, I'll drop the link. Anybody who wants to hit the link, I'm gonna drop the link. Hold on 1 second. Hold on. All righty. Was there something else that I wanted to show y'all? I want to make sure I showed y'all everything that I was meaning to show y'all today. I think I did show y'all everything I wanted to show y'all as far as documents. Okay, we have a visitor. 400.
Man, we all know Puffy was weird. Come on.
What's up?
What's going on with you, man?
Man, weird.
I'm not the only one gonna talk about it. We already knew he was gay. Tupac told us that shit.
Yes, a lot of people did think that he was gay all these years. They sure did. Mm-hmm.
I really don't care what happened to him.
But where do you stand on, like, Do you believe like all these people, like all these victims,
I don't believe
alleged?
everybody because I think everybody want a money grab, but I believe, especially like Cassie, because she was there with that weird ass nigga. Excuse me, I ain't want to get on the page say that.
Oh no, you find we cuss over here all the time,
Oh,
child.
okay. But I was saying, Pop being told us about this dude, man, like,
Mm-hmm. Sure did, and rest in peace, Pop.
yeah,
Mm-mm-mm.
because he done
But
did some, because he done did so much stuff, it just caught up with him. It's called karma.
mm-hmm. You know, the thing about it is, for the people who like to be this type of adventurous, because it ain't for everybody, right? Especially the urinating on people and things. It ain't for everybody.
Did you hear what she said?
Yes,
Pee in the mouth.
in the
I was
mouth.
like, what the?
In the mouth.
I said, hell, what the fuck, nigga?
I
And
be like,
then you
I ain't
still
signed up
laying
for
in the
this shit.
corner playing with yourself, right?
And he sitting in the corner playing with himself. I'm like, I ain't signed up for this shit. This
Man, hell,
relationship.
fuck no.
Mm-mm,
I would tell that
mm-mm,
nigga, I'm finna kill you.
mm-mm. It would be
Hell
a
no.
wrap. I'm
No,
like, she ain't got no brothers, no uncles, no
that's
cousins.
what
I'm
I
like,
that's what I said too. I said, bro, you did my sister like that, bro.
I'm telling
I would
you.
got mad at her too, though. You get what I'm saying?
I'm like, my family to fuck people up for less, way less.
I'm trying to tell you.
Woo wee. Let me tell one of my brother where that nigga
Hey,
at.
I would let him give me that bag, right? Then I still beat his ass.
Yes, because she sure got a bag, but that was years. Like she had been with him for a long time, and then when that shit happened in the hotel, and then when she came out in 2023 saying what he did, like that large gap between the time, like I said yesterday,
Yeah,
he got
but
all those million, but I think she should have got way more.
now, because I think it was her husband pushing her to do that because she was so scared of him. She didn't want to do that shit for real. Because think about it, you heard that talking about this. They were peeing in my mouth. I said, "What the fuck?"
Mm, mm, mm,
And
mm.
and you married?
You
I
heard
wish
they take
you
her
had.
husband out the courtroom, right?
Hey, they would lock me up.
They said they want they said today, before anybody took the stand, they said there's gonna be certain parts of, I guess, the questioning or the cross exam where they're gonna ask her husband to leave. Now I thought that maybe because there was a lot of things that she done that probably kind of shameful, embarrassing,
Yeah,
humiliating,
yeah, it
but
was.
somebody else said, because, and what do you think about this? Because somebody else said, I can't remember who in the chat said that, but they said, well, maybe because they thought she would be more truthful without her husband in the, what do you think?
No, I don't, because I already think they already talked about everything, right? So whatever she gonna say, he already knew it.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know about that right there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think it's more like, I don't know. I think the judge is trying. I know somebody in the chat said the judge don't give a fuck about her being humiliated,
Nah, he don't. He don't, because he probably doing the same shit.
and that could be true. So the only other reason could be that they think, she would really, because okay, I can imagine if my man, my husband, is sitting right there, and I'm like, yeah, they pissed on me, and I swallowed it. I can't imagine saying
Thanks.
that in front of my husband.
Thanks. Tell her what the we could
You
have had the one
swallowed
on
it,
one. We could have had the one on one and you told me about that shit. And then you gonna get up there and say that shit again? Hell
right?
no.
Yeah, because I don't know if she would have told him that shit. I don't know if they already had that conversation.
Hell no. I'm talking about they would have had the US Marshals to get me out of there, everything.
Like,
And
you did what?
I would have told her I ain't even fucking with you no more. If I ain't know nothing about that shit, I'm in court
Man,
with you. And we come up here we talk about him beating you in the hotel, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you go to other shit. Like, I'm like, man, what the hell? Pissing in the mouth. What?
Man, that's another reason why they got the trafficking there too. Because as some of y'all probably heard me mention all the different states and the different hotels and the different areas where he was always calling up these prostitutes and hiring all these prostitutes to have sex with her. It's just so much. I mean, her husband has to really, really love her
Yeah,
to be with somebody like
yeah,
that, because
yeah,
she had like uncontrollable UTIs. She always had sores in her mouth. She explained to the
yeah,
judge
yeah,
today, understand how the
yeah,
medicine wasn't even working anymore. Like this,
yeah. He got rid of her.
And he knew her when, of course, she was with Diddy. So I'm sure he probably seen her a lot of times when she had the black eyes and shit like that, because he was her personal trainer hired by Diddy. I
I
wonder
know.
how that shit happened though.
I
How
know all
they?
of them sensitive. All of them sensitive.
Yeah, I'm like, I wonder how they hooked up. Like, was he helping her stretch?
But I just had to pop up. I just had to pop up and say what I was gonna say.
Man, I know you better stay off of old boy though. I'm gonna tell Sis Low. I can't wait till we do the next review.
Man, nobody want to hear about no Lulu. Where she at anyway?
Oh, Lulu. I had texted her earlier today.
Yeah, tell her to start running.
I'm gonna tell her. I'm gonna tell her. I'm definitely gonna tell her. But you know what? How many more episodes we got in that show? Like,
I
what we
think
on 9?
I think one more for real.
One more?
I think because that was a good episode though. Last week was.
Man, you know what? We might have to do that one right after the show.
That was a good episode.
Yes, it was, and I know the last one gonna be a banger. It's about to be good. And now that they done met up with Nick, oh God, you know what? Some of the people in the chat probably like, what the hell are they talking about? But yeah, I think like, what's your Fridays looking like?
My good, my good. I just be waiting. I just be waiting on it to see Luke cry.
I'm gonna have to post the link to the show, to the live, because I think it's gonna be so good. I'm gonna want to go live after.
Just tag me in it. Tag me in it.
Okay, I will. I'll tag you on my community wall.
Yeah, and I'm gonna speak the truth about Luke.
I know you is.
Because when he killed that dude, man, he was almost crying before he even shot the gun.
You ain't gonna do Lulu. You ain't gonna do Lulu. You ain't gonna do Lulu.
Why you think Rock was doing him like that though?
I don't know. I really don't know. Child. I'm just glad he back in the game, because I knew he was coming back. I just didn't know exactly when. And again, like I had said time and time again throughout this season, that I thought some shit might pop off with Stefano and with Uncle Marvin. And then I thought that's when he was going to be pulled back into the streets. But it was over that damn Rilla. Man, and now, he was back in.
No. Rilla it wasn't Rilla.
Well, I mean, Rilla got him back.
If you listen to what he said, again. Right? He said, Lou, they said you was a real one. Like you ain't built like that no more. You remember when Lou walked into that place?
Yes.
And he said, man, you soft.
Yeah, basically they said that and cut your balls off and threw them away.
Yeah, basically, yeah. And he almost cried then.
Well, I mean, I guess what I'm trying to say is that was the first time he stepped back into, back into the street, back in the, putting people down, shit like that. That's what I meant by that. It was Rilla, him basically, because he knew that the people who was threatening Rilla was also threatening his life too. So he had to put him down.
Yeah, but see what Lou see. If you watch his character, right, every time he kills somebody, he always got remorse for it. And he's just always crying. Just, I can't take it no more, Rock. This ain't for me.
You ain't gonna keep doing Lulu. But no, seriously, you gotta join me for the last episode. And I'm looking forward to the spinoff too. I mean, I know we got one more season, but I'm looking forward to the spinoff. I
What you
really
think the
looking forward to
spinoff gonna be?
I'm anxious to see me, I'm the type of person when I'm watching a show, I like to have flashbacks. You can even go back and forth with the shit on different episodes, but I like to know how people were before they were who they are. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, that's why we look at
I
Lulu
love
like
that
he
shit.
is.
Yeah, I love
Even,
that shit.
even Kanan wonder why he cry all the time.
I, I mean, I want to know. I want to know. I mean, not Kanan, but I want to know Ghost when he was little. I want to know, his homeboy when he was little. Angela and all them. I want to see all that shit. How they got down in the street.
I think that's gonna come out. It's gonna come out.
Mm-hmm.
But the one we need to be watching for is Breeze. Who gonna
Oh
be
yeah.
Breeze? Yeah.
Oh yeah. I don't know who that's going to be, but I'm
Niggas,
looking forward to that too.
it was somebody said yesterday to me it was gonna be Lulu. Hell no.
No, I don't think it's going to be Lou. I don't know who the hell it's going to be. Actually, I don't know. I think we'll be surprised though.
What's that?
I think we'll definitely be surprised with who is going to be Breeze.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It is.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
Yeah.
I see your friend running from me.
I don't know where she. You know what? I texted her earlier and asked her did she want to join me to discuss Diddy, but she didn't text me back, so I assume she's probably busy. So I'll hit her up again. I'll hit her. I know she'll be there for Power because she loves watching Power and discussing that show. So I know she'll be here for that.
I do. Lulu he just sensitive. That's all it is. It ain't that wrong with it. I got an old sister too, but she don't talk to me like that.
Did you say sister? You know what? You know what? Hold on. There was something I wanted to show before I get off of here.
She done crying in the back of the car. Hey, y'all gonna kill me?
Okay. Ooh, I found it. Hold up, Diddy. Let me save it so I can pull it up on my screen. Oh, I think I thought I saved it. Okay, hold on. Let me bring something up on the screen before you get off because I want to ask you what you think about this.
I'm gonna tell you the truth now.
I know. I love a truthful motherfucker.
Lulu is not the truth.
Okay, let's see. Hold on, give me 2 seconds. I'll make it real big for you guys. Okay, now, they were like talking about. Remember when they was talking about Cassie when she did get paid by him? It was like less than 24 hours. He settled with her and whatnot. So they did discuss that today too. And this comes from the Hip Hop Inquirer. And he had posted this on his social media. And I guess they were talking to her about the free calls. And it says, I mean, pretty quickly over time, I knew that it wasn't something that I wanted to be doing, especially, can y'all see this? Okay. Especially as regularly as it became, because remember, it was a weekly basis for days on end. But again, I was just in love with him and wanted to make him happy.
Bring it up at random time. Man, no, look.
Child. And they said, despite not wanting to do the free calls, did you continue to engage in free calls with Sean? I did. And why did you continue to engage in the free calls? He would ask me, he would bring it up at random times. And I think to a point, I just didn't feel like I had much of a choice. Right. I didn't really know what would be or what it would be or what it would turn into. Right. And they said, when you say you didn't know what it could turn into, what do you mean by that? And she said, making him angry.
Let me tell you, Puffy is a hoe.
Yes.
Take advantage of the women. Yeah. But I'm
He
telling
is.
you,
Mm-hmm.
like, all of them be lying though, for real. Like, you already knew what was coming. So don't be out there like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You can
Yeah.
sit out there and say, I had pee in my mouth. I'm like, yeah, please put that up there.
Yeah, I definitely gonna put that up when I show somebody shit. But yes, I mean it's always the ones. You know what? It's always the ones that's real freaky deaky, and they don't want nobody else to know about their sex life or their sex partners that end up also being abusive. Now, do you think that Diddy might have been abusive? We know that Kels was. We know that he was by an old man down the street who his mom got paid off to
Did you
not.
ever hey, you need
Mhm,
to do a story that Kim Porter book. I listened to it online for a minute. I don't know if they still got
mhm.
it up, but you need to listen to that thing.
You know what? I did read or listen to, like, the free excerpts,
Yeah,
how
I
they do
was
on Amazon. I did do that.
I said
Um
them cats, them big fat.
but I didn't purchase it because I kept hearing all these rumors about this isn't her words and this isn't, and stuff like that.
Nah,
Some people like, yeah, she said that these her words, and some people like, nah,
yeah.
this is people just trying to make money. Like, who was the one who published the book? Was it her
Um,
old friend or something? Or
yeah, but I'm saying it might have it probably it probably went to people just like how she talked to him, right?
mm-hmm,
So he like, well, I just write a book on it, right?
mm-hmm,
Cause
mm-hmm.
it's a lot of stuff that was said
Yeah.
that you might not know nothing about.
It was
And
a lot of shit in there. Even Albie
when
Shore spoke up though. That shit ain't
that's
happened.
what
I'm
I'm
like,
trying
I
to
don't
that's
know.
what I'm trying to tell you. So it gotta be something that she told him.
Yeah.
But I
Mhm.
don't care about no P. Diddy.
Mhm.
Because I'm a big Tupac fan, right?
Yeah. So am I. I love Pac.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I think he had something to do with it. So
Yep. Mhm. Allegedly.
yeah,
Mhm.
no, it ain't no legend with me. I
Mm.
don't like that nigga. I don't like that nigga. As you know, he was calling Puffy gay back then.
Well, they were, yeah, they was, and they were talking about him, Puffy playing a part in, like, he was like a real gangster out there, really gay ass gangster out there, like how Cassie testified today. That one time he had grabbed his guns and straps, and him and his crew were looking for Suge Knight.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I can believe he was on some old gangster type of bullshit. Um, just by a lot of things that people are saying about him.
Yeah, but
As
see,
far as the Tupac shit.
he
Mhm,
only tough when he around somebody. You know,
yeah. hmm But a lot
you
of people always believe that he has something to do with Pac. And I really, really wish, before I leave this earth, I really, really wish we get the whole story, the whole
I
truth, and
know, right?
nothing but the truth. I mean, that would just, I could die peacefully. Ain't that crazy? I'm saying this about Pac. Like, I really want to know. Like, there's people in our history, in our timeline, from youth on up, that has passed away. We know how they passed. We know who did it,
Yeah.
drugs, whatever, old life. But with Pop, it's like even the person they got it had arrested recently. Like, I just
Like
really would
People D.
love to know. Like, really,
To
I
me,
really know.
it was more about the way Pop was moving. He already knew he couldn't fuck with him, right?
Yeah, he
So
predicted it even in his lyrics.
yes, and
hmm
Pop said something one day. He was like, all them East Coast drug dealers got them niggas on extortion. Cause Pop used to run with them niggas.
hmm
So he know
Yeah,
what
because
was
he's
going
from the
on.
east.
So he already knew what's going on. And when he said the nigga set him up, he already knew where it come from.
hmm hmm
So when he was like, they got him under extortion. Yeah, Puffy them ain't no tough guys like that.
hmm
They killed Puffy daddy for snitching.
hmm And in this particular case, he ain't even the one snitching. They revealing all kind of names already.
I know.
Security guards. I mean,
I'm
they
still
they
waiting on some
revealing
names.
all kind of people. Cassie and them, they snitching.
I'm still waiting on some names though.
I
But
know. I'm
but
waiting on the big names. Me too.
but if you listen to it, they would tell you like he hated Tupac.
Hmm. I wonder. Do you think something might come out of?
Nah, yeah. I'm waiting. I'm waiting.
Mm. We shall see. 400. We shall see. Now, did I ask you before? Do you got like? Do you make content?
Yeah, yeah. I told you I got my own page over there. I be on I love my sisters.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I be talking about Black Power. And then I get up there sometime and I let the females get on the panel and let them
Mm-hmm.
just talk.
I'm gonna have to come over there and chop it up
You
with
be going
you. I'm
live
looking at
too.
your videos now.
I be trying to tell y'all come over there.
You need to
Like
send.
I'm
You
gonna
need to
be on my
send me a kite. Let me know.
yeah, cause I'm gonna be on my real talk now. But
That's
sometimes
cool.
I like to have fun. So I let the females come up there.
That's cool. That's cool. Now, are you from like
I'm
a
from
certain
Alabama.
sector? Are you
You
from like
say
a
what?
certain sector in YouTube?
Here we
I know
okay.
you. I know you've been asked that before.
I came from the Austin sector, which I didn't even know it was sectors, right? Because I ain't been
Uh-huh.
over here that long.
Okay.
So when I popped into somebody's page one day, they
Hmm.
just told me, like, oh, that's 400. He from the Austin sector. I said, damn, we got a sector?
You was like, what?
Yeah, yeah. And I'm like, all right, well, get some from the Austin sector. But I'm from
Okay.
Alabama. Everybody else from Texas.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's what's up. That's what's up.
Yeah.
But when the next time you going live?
Uh, well, I was supposed to go live tonight,
Hmm.
but I ain't gonna go live.
Okay. I'm looking at your one video. You was on live for hours. What was you doing?
Yeah, that's when I was beefing with the women.
For real? It says 11 hours.
And no. That was my boy Stay Fly. I
Oh.
share this live
Oh.
because I was trying to bring in more people, like to
Oh,
get
okay.
on the
Okay.
live and stuff. And when I left, I didn't click the button to end my live with it, right? And
Oh, I
you trying to
see.
get watch hours. And then I'm like, hey man, everybody kept hitting me up like, boy, you still live? I said, man, no. But it went for a long time. I said, man,
Yeah,
Lord,
it was like let's say like a long, almost 12 hours. I was like, "What you doing? What you talking about?"
I would never, I would never do that again, though. I ain't sharing nobody else. Hell no.
Mm-mm-mm.
That boy had me up there about 12 hours.
Yes, 12 hours
Just
almost.
sitting up there, it ain't nothing going on. It's just live.
Mm-mm-mm.
And then you got random people coming there, comment, and they say, hey, folks, you still live? I was like, no, I ain't live. And that was at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Mm-mm-mm.
But
Mm-mm-mm.
yeah, but you need to
Well,
come check
yeah, you
me
need to next time you go live, send me a just like you told me, tag me in, coach.
Hey, you know I don't know how to do all that yet. I'm
You
still
gotta make
learning.
a community
I'm
wall
still
post. Then you gotta tag me.
I'm still learning. I'm still learning.
Well, it's just like on Facebook when you do the little ampersand sign, and then you put the hood, and it'll come up, and then like just make your little community wall post and say the hood table slide through.
Yeah, but y'all gotta ride with me now. Y'all gotta ride with me now. You can't stay with the females now.
Oh Lord, I gotta come over there and see what y'all about for
You
real.
hey, you need to check out the well, I ain't put it up, but you need to come over there for real.
I am.
Because I let the females talk.
So you just let the females do all the talking. You just be sitting back in the cut.
Nah. Depending what they're talking about.
Oh, okay. So do you like select a topic and then you just be like,
Yes,
if you want
yes.
to come up here and discuss this topic, here's the link.
Yeah. And they get mad at me. Then my people come in the room and we got a whole nother thing going on.
Oh Lord. Don't scare me away before I get over there.
Oh, no. It ain't no that's one thing about my panel. Like where I come from, the Austin sector. Um, I done did all that fighting in the bushes and doing all this in the chat and just I like because they ain't really what I'm about. I'm about showing love and shit like that. And if we're gonna have fun, we're gonna have fun.
Yeah,
And when
that's
I
how I
speak
am. I
on,
like to have fun.
yeah,
Have fun and shoot the shit.
yeah, let's shoot the shit. That's what I'm talking about.
Yep, I feel you on that. Yep,
Yeah, because I
absolutely.
ain't finna have all that. Because I already been through that when I first got on here. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm not finna do all this stuff.
That stuff get played out sometimes. It really can be taxing on your spirit too. Sometimes
It
when you're
is,
always fussing and fighting and arguing and
and
yeah.
that's why I think the grown folks come over there, like with my page and stuff, because we just relax and we talk about grown folks issues.
Okay.
And we all don't agree on everything, but we ain't finna sit here and call each other bitches and niggas and hoes. And, you know, if you agree, you agree. But we like to laugh and talk.
Okay.
And then I get on my black power shit too, though.
Okay. That's what's up. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna for anybody who might want to check out your channel, I'm gonna go ahead and drop the link
Yeah,
in
drop
the
my link
chat.
down there.
Yes. So there goes 400 link. Please show him support. Check out his channel. Check out his platform. Go over there and like some videos. Hit the notification bell. That's what
Yeah,
I did, so I can start getting all the notifications.
the hood table.
Mm-hmm.
I see, ain't got no tool in your on your platform.
What you mean?
I ain't got no tool.
What tool?
That's why I can't drop my link down there. I'm
Oh,
talking
you talking
about
about?
wrench. Yeah.
Oh, you talking about rent? See, I do need some moderators. I ain't even gonna hold you.
You don't want me no more.
I do need some moderators. I don't know. You probably gonna be in there talking about Lulu all the time when if I give you a ring. So
Hell
then you and Sislo be fighting in the damn chat.
Hell yeah. And tell her to stop running from me.
I will. I'll tell her. I'll probably talk to
Because
her tomorrow.
because I think she was like, boy, you gotta stop talking about Lulu.
But you know
Crying
she
when
just
she was
playing.
saying
She
it.
just playing.
I know, because she was crying when she was saying it. Like Lulu.
You know what? Get your ass. Don't you gotta show you gotta do?
Nah, I ain't gonna go live tonight, but I got a couple of people which I think you would fit right in with though, for real. Like we just like to talk. It's nothing but talking though, for real.
Okay. Well, let me know. I told you, send me a kite.
Oh, here we go again. Okay.
You gotta send me a kite.
I got you though.
I'm on every social media platform from Snapchats to IG to Facebook. And of course, YouTube, TikTok. I'm everywhere.
I got you because they got me last night. Cause I woke up about 10. They had me on live to about 3 o'clock this morning.
Oh Lord,
I tell
no.
them, hell no, I gotta go to sleep.
I
I'm too
was
old for
drooling
this
on
shit.
my pillow. I was not. Knock. That's what I'm be doing later. Shoot, I'm about to. It's 6:33 here, so we still got a couple of hours of daylight left. I think I'm gonna
Where you
sit my
from?
ass
Where you
outside
from?
Nebraska.
Here we go.
Don't you talk about my? Don't you do it?
I'm
Don't
not gonna
you
do
do
it
it?
today.
Don't you do it?
I'm not gonna do it today.
Don't you
I'm gonna
do
say this one. I'm gonna say this one.
it? I'm from the only hood in Nebraska.
Okay.
We
but
right in the middle of the map. Just close your eyes and then
all
open
right,
them and point to the middle of the map, and
all
that's
right,
where I am.
but every time I pull up on somebody's page who I fuck with, I just come through show love because I like
Well,
what you
I
got going
appreciate
on.
it. I appreciate it. I appreciate you showing us love. You be coming through whether I'm doing a TV show review or some trending news or just talking shit, and I appreciate it.
And I show love though, for real.
That's right. That's right. What up, Happy Life? How you doing? Happy Life always in some shit.
Happy laugh. I think I know
Yes, he
happy laugh.
always in some shit. Me get cussed out by everybody and they mama.
Happy. What's up, boy?
Yeah, Happy Life. You're gonna have to red ball if you want to get that good old content on I think he hit the panel. Hold up. Let me make
Oh,
sure that's
is he
him.
up here?
Hold up. I don't know who JJ Mondays. Hold up. Do I need to put my banner up? Because I don't know. Happy Life, you done got a new name. Because normally it say authenticated under your name. So I don't know. How about we do this one? Happy Life?
What we talking about? What's
What
up? What's up?
up? What you got a new channel name or what?
No, I just had to change some info. I just had to get a new page and change things up a bit
Oh,
because
okay.
you know people will be quick to dots, and once they find out, they'll say the real thing, and then it's over for you.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. As long as nobody come to my crib though, we all good in the hood.
In the hood.
For real.
Pull up if you want to.
Mm-mm-mm. But yeah, that is something that I hope doesn't remain as popular as it has been over the last couple of years, doxing on YouTube. But oh well.
No, they got a
Anyway.
law about that now.
Yeah, they do, but it's crazy because I see so many people do it, especially in the B sector where we around. Happy Life and I like it's happy. They do it all the time. All the
Yeah,
time.
they do.
They show up where
They
you
got
live, where your church is, where your job is. They be all that
Happy,
shit.
happy.
everything.
Hey, happy. Don't I know you, brother?
Yeah, you're 420. We met on Sincere's channel, right?
Okay, yeah, same happy. Okay, salute to you, brother.
Salute.
So
Yeah,
that's what's up.
it looks like we got this thing where Lemon and Jay Dunn might go to court because they hate each other.
Wow. Lemon and Jay Dunn. Who taking who to court?
I don't know. Like I think Octavius, one of Lemon's people, said he's gonna strike Jay Dunn's channel, and then Jay Dunn is like, "Let's play, motherfucker," and then Jay Dunn started striking Lemon's channel. So
Oh Lord.
now it's
Hey,
like Lemon doing the nest, and yeah, it's all
hey,
that stuff.
salute to the hood table. Salute, happy.
Salute, King 400.
And I just had to pull up for a minute though. You know I'm gonna come through and show love.
All right. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I'll be live again tomorrow discussing day 4 of the trial. And then of course, when episode 10 come out of Power, we're gonna be live for that too.
Yeah. R.I.P. Diddy.
R.I.P.
Lulu, stop crying.
All right, 400. I'll holler at you.
Yeah.
So you talking about, and you know what? I hate when people mess with people's channels. Like this morning, I woke up to hear Rick Reed say his channel got snatched.
Who would want to strike Rick Reed's channel? I don't know.
But he been going. Him and people been arguing back and forth. and beefing, and one of the people was Rodney. One of the people, just that he been beefing with, he been beefing with like 3 or 4 people, I think. So
I
I
think
don't,
he
I
beefed
don't
with
know,
Brianna, right?
huh?
I think he's beefing with Brianna, right?
I don't think he's beefing with Bree. I mean, I heard him mention her name a few times in his lives, but I don't think he's beefing with Bree. If he is, that's new to me.
Oh damn.
But I know as far as like the lives that I seen him, it was other people that he was like really beefing with. Like Heidi, remember he was beefing with Heidi? He was beefing with uh damn, I just said the name. Rodney, who else? I can't remember off the top of my head, but
Is he beefing with Ness
yeah,
or
Ness, yep. But I don't think he was beefing with Bree. But see, I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I don't know because I haven't been watching a lot. I'm gonna just be honest, Happy Life. I haven't been. Um, Me and you probably follow a lot of the same people. I ain't been in nobody chats really, besides like the people that I really, really support. And then I hardly be in they shit too. Because I just been busy and a lot of times I just be like tired of, the drama, in the beef sector and the repetitive shit and the beefs that just sometimes it can just take a toll on people, and I just don't always want to watch that negativity all the time. So sometimes I just sit back and I chill and I watch other shit, social media, other YouTubers, the TV, you know.
yeah, the
I've been
TV?
doing a lot of that. I've been doing a lot of that, and I've been busy with my cakes and things. As a matter of fact, I got orders this weekend for graduations, so I've been, doing my thing, you know.
Yeah, you know what's crazy? So you told me, I think you and Charlie told me this at least about maybe 5,000 times. And a year later, I'm finally following your advice. You said to me, 2 or 3 panels a day, and you be in the chat 95% of the time. So that's what I have been doing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You stay in less trouble that way.
I know, but you told me it 5,000 times, and it's like a year later, I finally got it.
You should just spark up your own channel. That's what you should do.
Man, I got this new page, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you got a new page. Should everybody else creating channels? Shit, why not?
I might do it. I might do it in like a year when things open up for me on the
Just start
on the
growing it. At least start growing it in advertising it so you can get like, by the time you do decide to go live, you got your 1,000 subs, you got your watch hours, stuff like that. Even if you're not making content about beefs or any of the different sectors, just come on there and just talk your shit, shoot your shit, whatever you want to talk about on your channel, and people will support you. This one thing about the sectors is they are big on support. So, and you ain't, and but you might not have 4, 5, 600 people in the chat, but you're gonna get some support. Then your channel gonna eventually grow, and you'll have a lot of supporters. So, but that's if you want to. Don't let nobody try to,
No,
make
I
you.
know, I'll do something in a couple of years, but it ain't right now. But eventually, I will create a channel.
Yeah, yeah. But that's what's up. That's what's up. But yeah, I'm about to get off here. We was basically about to wrap it up. I had did my little cover on the Diddy Trial Day 3. I'll be back tomorrow to discuss Diddy Trial Day 4. But yeah, I'm
Well,
about to
well,
get
well.
off
Give me
here.
give me the scoop on Diddy, because I know he went to jail for something, and he's in it for life, right?
Well, I mean, that's what he's facing. He's facing life. Is somebody outside my house? Hold on. Hold on. I think somebody at my crib.
Well, damn.
No, I don't know them. I thought it was one of my cousins because one of my cousins got a new SUV today, and she said she might be by to show me, but I thought it was my cousin. But I
And
don't know who that is.
shout out to Very Carey. She is finally standing up the nest, man.
Oh, I did hear, I did, I did hear a little bit of what she had to say. But let's see, Diddy, as far as like all his charges and stuff, of course, you know he got the racketeering. Um, they say he's sex trafficking.
Oh wow.
So racketeering, sex trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson,
Oh
bribery,
boy.
obstruction of justice. That's
Oh,
among other crimes. Okay,
man.
it's a lot.
Well, did he go after a 16-year-old girl or something like that?
They claim that there was some minors. They did claim that there was some minors. I don't know. See, those minors were minors, of course, when it happened, but time has passed now. But they said it ranged from the age of 9-year old, 14-year old, 15-year old, and 25 of the individuals. Uh, they say there was like a lot of minors. I mean, that's what they say. That's what
Wow.
they say. They said 25 of the individuals who are attempting to prosecute him were minors. And that's in a 25-year span. So this started from 1991 through 2024, through last year. But they said most of the victims were after 2015.
Oh wow. Mm.
Yep. And thankfully, New York is one of those states that allow you to go back 25 years or more. And a lot of the allegations were happening in New York.
Wow.
Yep. New York and the Hamptons, California, LA, Florida, Miami. Yeah. Yep. So,
Man, I tell you, man, we are definitely best friends on this app. Even though you say, even and you know what's crazy? You were one of the ones that went out on a limb and say, "Fuck it." You know what? I will always think of you as B Scepter. So I
yeah.
don't care what nobody
I
says,
don't care what nobody
even if even if you get people like Yaya and others be like, no, you're not beef sector. You probably an outsider. Hood table like, well, fuck it. You're beef sector to me.
Yeah, because I just feel like, I mean, there's certain people who I will always say are not B sector, but I just feel like some people who they let in and then claim as B sector, I'm like, well, shit. I mean, as many incidences as Happy Life had, as many situations or scenarios he done been in, storylines. I mean, you're not on here cussing a nigga out every day or anything
No,
like that, but yeah, I'm like, you support a lot of people. So yeah, that's why I told you now and I told you before in the past. Shit, you might as well start your own damn channel. So, but you don't have to. You don't have to keep supporting people and being in the chats and hitting panels. You don't have to. Don't let nobody force you to start a channel or nothing like that. But
no, I think it has to be like the right situation. Like maybe if things open up and stuff offline goes right and all that stuff, and then it's like I got the right amount of support, and then maybe if people like other people be like, stop calling me slow and all that stuff, then I
you'd
might
be
start.
surprised. Trust me, you would be surprised how many supporters you have. A lot of people say that, oh, ain't nobody gonna watch. I ain't gonna, a lot of people feel like that. And then as soon as they hit that live button and everybody starts sharing, oh my God, such just got a channel. Oh my God, such like you gonna see them numbers just grow, 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 grow. Next thing you know, you're gonna be monetized. So yeah. But anyway, I'm about to get off of here. I've been on here going on 2.5 hours, so I'm gonna get off of here and enjoy the rest of my evening. Thank you for hitting the panel, though. Happy Life, I appreciate you. It's always good to see you.
Man, we should talk on the phone together like best buddies.
Best, but what? ain't we already friends on IG?
Yeah, we are.
So yeah,
Mm.
we can talk on IG. We can talk on IG.
All right, see ya.
All right, I'll holla at you. All right, y'all. Thank you to my guests who hit the panel today. 400 and Happy Life hit the panel today. 400 got up here and chit chatted with me about things going on with Diddy and other celebrities of the past like Pac and talking about Cassie and the court trial, and Happy Life gave us a little tea on what's been going on in the B sector because I really ain't been watching a lot of people in the B sector recently. But thank you so much. I appreciate you guys, and I appreciate everyone in the chat, everybody who dropped down to say hey or added to the commentary or to the discussion of the Diddy trial day 3. I will be back tomorrow for Diddy Trial day 4. And then there is one more episode in Power 3 with Kanan. So after that show, I had just told 400 a little while ago. Normally I go live a day or a couple days after a show comes on that I review because I like to give my viewers time to watch it because everybody can't watch a show when it first come out. But when it comes to the finales and sometimes the premieres, a lot of times after the show goes off, I come live like maybe 30 minutes later. So I think this is going to be a really good ending to season 4, episode 10 to the end of season 4 of Raising Kanan in Power. So I think I shall go live like maybe right after the show, 30 minutes after, something like that, to discuss it with you guys. So for the people who watch Raising Kanan, and follow me for my reviews, please make sure you have that notification bell hit so you can join us for that live finale of Raising Kanan season 4. And on that note, make sure you guys like and share the video, subscribe to the Hood Table if you happen to be new here. Feel free to donate to the Cash App. Again, thank you to those who sent a super chat to me today. Mel, my girl, I appreciate you, love. You can send a super chat or you can do a Cash App, $ the Hood Table, 402 will do. Thank you so much. And also, stay safe, be blessed, remain vigilant at all times, and always remember. And this was so funny, y'all. Yesterday, when I was finishing my live, y'all heard my son come in and I was talking to my son. And when I did my ending, he said, "Mom, you be singing to them?" I said, "No, I don't be singing to them. That's just my little ending." I was like, "Don't do me." His girlfriend was cracking up. But anyway, stay safe, be blessed, remain vigilant at all times, and always remember to keep it hood. I'm out. Bye.